It's day 26, folks, and if you've ever needed an image for social media, a presentation, or some project, but you know you have zero design skills or no time to go find a designer, well, today is your lucky day because I'm going to show you exactly how to use multiple AI tools to quickly create images that you'll actually give a crap about and be proud of. I'm Kamo. Let's have some fun. Let's get you future-proof. Quick reminder, if you haven't watched the series intro video, highly recommend starting there. We're almost to the end of this thing, so go back to the beginning, get it all. All right, let's start. The way we always start, we're gonna talk about what would a human need to design a bunch of images. Well, if you've ever worked with anybody in graphic design, you know you need kind of a lifetime of experience understanding things about graphic design, layout, structure, organization, you name it, right? You also need to know a ton about tools. If you're physically creating art, you need to know about all the different mediums that you have. If you're digitally creating art, you need to know about all the tools, the technology, the gear. You need some kind of studio or a workshop, a place to create this thing. And also, you need a lot of time to create the specific thing that you want. Well, for better or for worse, AI has changed that game for the average person, okay? And we're gonna walk through a ton of specific examples of how to do this. Now, we normally go through this flow, and today's gonna be a little bit different, but you've seen this pattern before. We're gonna give it an original prompt of, I want an image. And then we're gonna give some gentle modification prompts in there to say, okay, tweak it a little bit here and a little bit there, and you're gonna see that output as we go through this. Now, normally RG Koa, not today. Images work a little bit differently. Since you're dealing with a visual medium instead of text back and forth, the standard RG Koa doesn't really work, but there is a generic format that you can use for just about any image generation tool. There's detailed description, specific specifications, and specific details, okay? That's how I want you to think about that. Deeply describe what you want to get. Then tell it the style. Are you looking for a black and white photo? Are you looking for a cartoon? Are you looking for an MC Escher style picture? Whatever, tell it, and then specific details. Like you want it to build a building, but it needs to have a construction vehicle out front. I don't know, right? Like whatever it's gonna be, start broad, tell it the style, then get specific, and that's gonna help a ton. Now, this is tough to describe in words. Let's see this thing in action, shall we? So we're gonna come down to ChatGPT, and I'm gonna start really, really basic, okay? I'm using 4.0, but I'm gonna ask it to do something really simple. We're gonna say, create an image of an elementary school on the moon that is very photorealistic. Not super bad, right? Should be kind of simple, I guess. I don't know. It has a lot of leeway in here about what it can create. So we're gonna ask it to go, and it's gonna take a couple seconds to generate that image. As you can see, it's moving right now. It's gonna generate an image in a square. I can also modify this in a bunch of different ways, change the aspect ratio. You just gotta ask it to do these things. Now, the interface with ChatGPT, and I'm gonna show you this in Gemini here in a second. In fact, let's jump over to Gemini, and let's go ahead and just send the exact same prompt into Gemini. That way it's running in the background. And it's going to generate this. I love how this is loading so slowly, like we are back in the early 90s on an AOL internet connection over a modem. I've never seen it do it like this before. Hey, you're getting it live, everybody. We're having a good time. And it's going to generate you this image. This is great. Okay, we can sort of see how this is loading. We're just going to live tweet how this is happening, right? We got the Earth in the background. Love that. We've got elementary school written on the sign. Oh, cool. All right, so we're on the moon. We've got a sidewalk. This is great. Now, a couple things. I didn't give it much. I just said photorealistic school on the moon. Awesome, okay? So we've got elementary school. I want to call out, if you can zoom in on this, specifically ChatGPT's DALL-E, the latest versions of it, which is their image model, and Gemini, which we'll see in a second here, which uses Imagen 4, which as of this recording just came out a few days ago. Both are really good at text generation too. So that's something just to know. All right, so we love this, but this is missing something, right? So like, can you make this more warm and inviting with kids playing outside? Question mark. All right, we're gonna kick that off. While we're waiting for that to come through, let's go back and see what Gemini came up with. Oh, cool. Gemini came up with something a little more lively. All right, I kind of love this. The kids are in spacesuits. Somehow one of the teachers is out here without a helmet on. Not sure how that's gonna go for her. But all right, so this is not terrible either. I really, really, really like this. So let's go back, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna say, can you put some spaceships in the sky? All right, we'll see what that comes back with. While we're waiting for that, let's go see. All right, so ChatGPT and DALL-E is working to generate. Again, I love how it's just doing this progressive loading bar. I'm not 100% sure. Let's go back and see what's going on with Gemini here real quick. All right, so it's coming back, and it's gonna modify this image, and it's gonna ask us, okay, so it totally started over with this context. So let's look at this image. So now it made us a totally different school. Again, this is image generation with AI is entertaining at the absolute minimum. What it will come up with and think is normal, chef's kiss phenomenal. We've got wind turbines on the moon. I definitely get the solar panels, totes. We got a lot of playground equipment outside. There are a couple kids or humanoid looking objects out here. And we got ourselves some spaceships up in the sky. So you can see kind of how this is generating. This is great. Let's go back to MidJourney. Ooh, okay. So MidJourney took the same elementary school design. And this is what's kind of cool. MidJourney does a much better job of keeping the context of your images in place. Gemini just likes to start over and try to give you something fresh from scratch. But we got the Earth. Is this on on the moon? I mean, obviously the Earth's in the background, so it's not on Earth, but this just looks like it could be, I don't know, like the desert or something. Although kids are looking awesome in here, playing outside, elementary school's still there. So there you go. You can see how this works, and you just keep going with this, right? You just keep asking it for more stuff, and it'll keep giving it to you. Now, if we go back and start to think, I gave it a really crappy prompt. I didn't follow my own guidelines there. So let's go back and let's, again, reminder, detailed description, style specifications, and then the specific details. Let's do this differently. So I'm going to give the same exact prompt back here. I'm going to just do a new ChatGPT window. I'm going to paste in this very detailed prompt, okay? Image, elementary school, situated on the surface of the moon, children in colorful modern spacesuits, the Earth's visible in the sun. The style should be a highly realistic photograph, sharp focus and natural lighting as if from the sun, no atmospheric diffusion. And again, this is like way detailed, but following that same format. So again, I'm going to just hit go on this one. I'm going to go back to Google's Gemini. I'm going to ask it for a new chat for Gemini, and I'm going to give it the exact same prompt and say go, and we're going to see what these come up with. In the meantime, I want to talk to you about another tool, and this tool is called MidJourney. Okay, MidJourney is the tool that I use 99% of the time for image generation. This is a picture of the default website once you log in with a paid account with MidJourney. And MidJourney will create you just about anything you want, but it has some really interesting tools. When you're using MidJourney, I want you to think about different capabilities. This is my MidJourney framework for this. And again, if you want to get serious about image generation, I cannot steer you anywhere other than MidJourney right now. The capability set, the interactivity, the way that you work with this interface is phenomenal. I love working with MidJourney. And what you want to do with this is start with a subject, describe the action or the scene, give it a style reference, which we'll talk about here in a second, describe the mood or atmosphere, and then give it technical parameters. So let's take a look at something over here. So this again is this default MidJourney interface. I loaded this like 20 minutes ago. If I hit refresh, it's probably going to give me different images. Oh no, it's going to skip. Okay. And oh yeah, because we're top for today. Tomorrow it'll give me different ones. But like, let's click on this shoe in the upper left corner here. And you can see this prompt right here, a cross section of a classic black Converse high top, sliced vertically to reveal a miniature, blah, 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 blah. We can go to this one. They can just keep scrolling and see, right? This is a super simple prompt. What I like about MidJourney's default homepage is that it shows you a bunch of examples, and then you can go see how people made these. Like you can look at the prompt, and then you can just click this button to say use text, and it'll drop it up here, and you can start to customize it if you want. Now, we're not going to do that today, but it's just so powerful what you can do with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a different prompt that I created to describe the same thing, classic elementary school on the moon surface, and we can look in the style of a high-resolution NASA concept art. Now, there's a bunch of technical parameters. Again, remember, right up here, technical parameters that you can drop inside of MidJourney. AR is aspect ratio. This is going to produce us a 16:9, a rectangular image, okay? And then stylize 350. Stylize is a way that you can have it be really abstract or very literal. It's on a scale of 0 to 1,000. So 350 is more on the conservative side of stay literal and photorealistic. And then you can give it versions, because MidJourney has a bunch of different versions. Think of this like ChatGPT 3.5 versus 4 versus 4.5. Like it's just the version of the image generator. 6 is just a safe middle of the road alternative. So we're going to say go. Now, what's interesting is that now I've done that up here, there's a create window over here, and I can go to it. And MidJourney always makes you four images. It gives you every single time, not the one. So it gives you a little bit of choice, which I really like about MidJourney in so many ways. So let's see how this is going to come out. And you can see at the top, it gives you a little progress bar, which is kind of nice. It does not load like it's an old NASA interface. All right, so this is giving us that geodesic dome that we asked for in the reference. And look at these. I mean, this is like NASA concept art. That looks pretty cool. So I don't know. Let's look at this one. And then let's zoom in a little bit on it. All right, this is pretty dope. And you see the difference in what we're talking about here. And I'm not, again, DALL-E is great and was kind of the originator of this. Imagen 4 is super powerful. And again, dive deeper into this, everybody. I'm just giving you a few different examples, but you can see how this works. And if you want to modify this, there's all sorts of tools that you can use to do it. But I want to take something here really fast. I'm going to download this just really fast. So now I've got this downloaded. I'm going to go back in now, and we're going to check out this thing called Edit. And in Edit, you can say Edit an uploaded image. I'm going to give it that image that we just downloaded. I think it's probably on my desktop right now. No, it's under Downloads. Yeah, there it is. Okay. We're going to upload this image. And what's cool about MidJourney's Edit functionality is that we can come in here and just delete parts of this picture. And we can say anything we want about what we want to replace. So let's just say ultra hyper colored stars. And click Submit Edit. Now what it's going to do is take that prompt that you gave it, ultra hypercolored stars, which again is super basic, crappy prompt, and it's going to try and populate the image with what you requested. It's going to regenerate what you deleted. Now, okay, I don't think that was necessarily a lot of color, but you can see it regenerated that image based on what I wanted. So maybe I'll do something over here and I'll erase all this and I'll say like space station with spaceships in the sky. And I'll click go. Let's see what this generates. But you can see it's pretty fast when it does this. I tend to find that if I'm starting to work with images, or let's say you have a picture of a person on a street and you want to like remove the car next to them and say just an empty street, it works really well. You can do so much with this from a powerful image editing perspective. If you go to my website, for example, like there's a picture of me sitting on a couch. I am actually sitting on a couch, but not next to a brick wall. And it's just like all that stuff's been edited with AI to make it a much more cohesive picture. It's a much more edited picture. And you just have capabilities to, add a coffee cup to a table. You just delete a little circle on the table and say, add a coffee cup, and it will just put a coffee cup in there. All right, so as we look through this, it looks like, yeah, here we go. Here's a couple options. So it put some spaceships up there. I don't hate that. The rest of these looks like it failed on generation, which is just, this happens, like there's errors that happen in here, but this one at least came out okay. And we've got some interesting looking spaceships up in the sky. So there you go. That's MidJourney. Let's jump back here real quick. All right, we asked Gemini to add some kids and the Earth in the background. Okay, I think it did okay. Colorful modern spacesuits. Ah, yeah, look at these kiddos, just having a blast out there. And then let's check out ChatGPT. Oh, it did that's really similar. Look at that. Wow. Okay, that's really similar. Lunar Elementary School. Bonus points to ChatGPT for coming up with this. There's a little play area. Yeah, these kids they're having a blast. All right. That's image generation in a nutshell for you. Let's jump back up here. If you want to get more advanced, do some research on style consistency, how you can make sure your style is maintained across all of these. Again, it's way beyond the scope of what we can record in a video here, but go check that out. You can do advanced parameters in MidJourney. MidJourney parameters is you can get an associate's degree in that right now. It's super complicated, but also incredibly powerful. Again, if you're serious about needing to make images, just go to MidJourney for right now. It's so great. In painting and out painting, like what I showed you, where you can erase parts of the picture and replace it with other things, again, where available, and then combining this with other tools like Canva or workflows or video generation. I'm scratching the surface with you here, but check this out. If you want to know a whole lot more too, we dive very, very deep in the community with Camo about this. In our AI training course, we have a whole hour-long video on exactly how to get really, really deep with these. Go check those out. Links are down below. I'd love to see you in those classes and in the community. And if you got questions for me, put them down below in the comments, because it's going to have a pretty good time on this one, I hope. Tell me what I should have put inside of this as far as image generation. I thought about making a cat and a skateboard, but I just went with the school. I thought it was cool anyway. All right. Tomorrow, we're going to talk all about how to work inside of Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, and Google Slides, the ways that it works really well and the ways it does not work really well. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 27.